Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today is indeed a blessed day. Alhamdulillah, it is Friday. May Allah bless us. May Allah bless us all. May Allah bless our families. May Allah bless our friends. May Allah bless the work of our hands. Allahumma ameen. Since it is Friday, I decided to share with you the reason why I'm very serious about learning the Quran. Back in 2010, I was a primary student. One day, I remember it was a lunch break time. My friend and I were going home for lunch. As we were on our way home, the older lady came towards us, and I could see her from distance. She was moving towards us. The older lady was trying to move very fast. She was trying to move as fast as she could. She was moving, and the sun, let me tell you, the sun was extremely hot. It was around 12:40 p.m. The weather was very hot. The older lady, as she was trying to move very fast, she was very delicate and very old, that even her steps were not balanced. As she was moving, she was like moving like this. Her steps were not balanced. I did not know that lady, but she happened to be the relative of my classmate, schoolmate. She happened to be the relative of my schoolmate. They greet each other. I greet her too. I remember I greet her too. She was carrying a Juz Amma book. The lady was carrying a Juz Amma book with her right hand. And even when she was moving towards us, she was carrying it like this. They have started to have a relative conversation. How's the family? How's this? And I was standing there watching the older lady. Even her lips, when she was talking and when she was even standing, she was somehow shaking. Even her lips were shaking. And I was watching her, having so many thoughts in my mind. I was putting myself in her position. I could see myself as old as her. Reason being, I love the Quran and I was not learning. But this lady, she is around 65, 70, very weak and delicate, and she has started learning the Quran at this age. As I was watching her, by the way, one reason why I understood this lady was a Quran beginner was because she was carrying a Juz Amma book. And I had that experience that in Somali community, wherever they are, when they want to learn the Quran, they start from Juz Amma. They start from the last juz of the Quran, that is Juz Amma. That is why I realized this lady is a Quran beginner. The older lady is a Quran beginner. And as I knew that I love the Quran and I'm not learning, and I was not even planning to learn. But in my heart, I was always, I will start learning the Quran. I will start learning the Quran. After having a lot of thoughts and a lot of pictures, I talk to myself, girl, if you did not start learning the Quran in this young age, if you did not start learning the Quran in this your young age, one day you will be in her position. You will be in the position of this lady. As I was standing there and watching the older lady, I concluded and I underlined it. I promised to myself, and not only did I made promise to myself, I also made promise to Allah that I will learn the Quran. I said to myself, I promise I will learn the Quran before the age of this lady. Who knows? Allah may bless me with many days to live. And if Allah bless me with so many days to live, just like this lady, and I reach this age and I still don't know the Quran, I will go to madrasa just at this age. So I promised, Ya Allah, I promise today, I will learn the Quran before reaching the age of this lady, before reaching as old age as this lady. They have completed their conversation. The old lady went to her madrasa. My friend and I went home. After I reached home, we went to our homes. We were not staying together. We went to our homes. And after I reached home, the only I could tell people was, Allah, Ya Allah, the old lady I have seen today. The old lady I have seen today. People was so curious about what I was telling about the old lady. They were asking me questions. What is wrong with the old lady? What happened to her? She just started learning the Quran. She was a Quran beginner. So they were giving me different reactions and different responses. Some were saying she did a good job. You should be proud of her. She's too old and she's learning the Quran. She started learning the Quran. This is a good thing to do. Some were saying, why are you so serious about the lady? Actually, people were thinking that I was talking about the old lady. But in the reality, I was not talking about the old lady. It was like I put myself in the position of the old lady and I was like talking about myself. People did not understand, but I was talking about myself. That old lady did not leave my mind for she did not leave my mind for one complete week. Every minute she was in my mind. I was even dreaming about the old lady. I was dreaming about madrasa and all that. In that 1 week, I was planning when to go to madrasa, how to go to madrasa. Let me say, how I will pay the fee. I was all set. But unfortunately, I don't know what happened to me. I forget everything, all my plans. After 1 week, I forget all my plans. I forget about the lady. I forget about the promise I made. It was as everything got erased from my mind. I continue my study. At that time, it was 2010. I was completing my primary. I completed my primary. I also completed my high school. Afterwards, I completed diploma, bachelor degree, and still I could not remember about the lady. Still, I could not remember about the promise I made in that day. In 2000, let me say in 2022 last year, one of my friend who was there when I was telling she was there in 2010 when I was telling about the old lady. She was at home. She called me 2022, and at that time I was reading the Quran, and to my surprise, I was reading the Juz Amma, the last juz of the Quran. Actually, when I was younger, I started learning the Quran from Surah Nas to Surah Inna Fatah. But I forgot, and it became very hard. All the other choices became very hard, and most of them I forget about them. They became very hard to read. But only I could read and I could remember was Juz Amma. As I was reading the Quran, she called me and I told her, I'm reading the Quran, let me finish the Quran I'm reading, I'll call you back. I have completed the Quran I was reading and I called her back. She was, her expression, she was like happy for me that I was reading the Quran. She told me, I'm happy for you that you are reading the Quran. I knew you always loved the Quran. And as we continue, I was like, I don't know much about the Quran. I want to learn the Quran, but I'm yet to start it. She reminded me about the old lady and how shocked I was about the old lady. She was like, she asked me, do you remember the old lady? Do you remember the old lady? I could not even remember. I asked her, what old lady? What old lady? I can't remember any old lady. She gave me some details, how I was worried about her, how I used to tell her I dreamed about the old lady. I remembered it. And by the way, let me tell you guys, I was shocked. When I remembered the old lady, I could remember every details of that incident. I could remember the lady. I could remember how fragile she was. I could remember the weather. I could remember the promise I made. I could remember every details. I could remember the plans I was making for the 1 week. I was really, really, really shocked. I never knew someone can forget like that. I never knew I could forget something very important to me just like that. My friend, we finished our conversation, and after she disconnected the call, I was sitting like, oh my God, what have I done? I have to fulfill the promise I made that day, 2010. And that is the reason, really, guys. That is the reason why I have started learning the Quran. and I really want to finish the Quran. I want to finish the Quran and I want to learn the Quran before the age of 70 and 60. Who knows? Allah may bless me with a long life. So I want to learn the Quran and finish the Quran, inshallah. I also would like you to remember me in your prayers. Please remember me in your prayers, so that the Quran become more easy for me. Our video ends here, but before I disconnect, before we finish, the one advice I will have like to give you is to read the Quran. Read the Quran. Please, it is very important to read the Quran. If you let me say, if you are someone who learned all the Quran, who have finished the Quran, or maybe let me say, if you are someone who memorized the Quran many years ago, never stop reading. Continue reading. Because if you do not read, you can easily forget the Quran. At least read one juz a day. You can divide the juz into small portions, maybe two portions. Read in the evening, in the morning, and in the evening. It is very easy. You can finish the whole Quran in 1 month. This is a very big achievement. It is really a very big achievement if completing reading the Quran for 1 month. For those who like me, we are in the same boat. We are in the same position. We can fly together. And next week, Friday, I'll share with you some of my secrets, how I'm learning. Some of my secrets. I'll share with you how I'm learning. It's not hard. It is enjoyable. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you for being there for me. May the blessing and the peace of Allah be upon you.